Alright, hello everybody. I am once again back with more Pentiment. We are doing the mural now, I believe. I'm certainly here. I think it's going to ask me to decide what I want to paint, and that's going to be something that I have to do. I'm going to have to make decisions. So let's do that. It's Werner, the doctor. Magdalene. Dr. Stoltz. So, you're doing quick work with the mural, eh? I hope that doesn't make you sloppy. Still think I shouldn't be painting the mural, Dr. Stoltz? No, I don't, but that hardly matters now. In any case, the council wants to hear what you're doing. I've been researching the early Christian history of Tassing after the Romans left, learning how the people settled in the ruins, how the abbey was founded, and why our saints are so important to us. It was a lot to take in, but I've settled on my subject. And... I don't know what I want to do. All of these seem, like, interesting. And they all kind of jive. I mean, there's nothing that's wrong here. Hmm. This seems fun. Eh, that's not that. Yeah, let's start with that. You may find that ignoring the saints in favor of such a mundane portrayal of events is unwelcome. Even so, I suppose it is an important step in the history of Tassing. Remember, the mural isn't for your benefit, but to make Tassing look good. I remember. Very well. After this section, there is still so much work to do. Yeah, I mean, that's just one piece. I haven't even figured out how I'm going to portray the revolt. Yes. I'm assuming that he doesn't want the revolt to be portrayed at all. Yeah, or maybe that's asking too much. Maybe he wouldn't want to do that. But maybe he does. I imagine it poses difficulties that the other murals do not. It's a strange thing to tell a story that still lives in the hearts of so many people here. I don't think anyone wants to talk about it. They all just locked it away. Sounds like you have your work cut out for you. I'll leave it to you then. Oh, Dr. Stoltz. Yes? Have you seen someone lurking around the Abbey? Or heard about it? I haven't been up to the Abbey in years, so no, I haven't heard of anything like that. Why? Excuse me. I've seen someone following me a few times. No, I don't know anything about it. No, if there's nothing else. No. Good night, Dr. Stoltz. Good night, Magdalene. I think discretion is the better part of valor there. Now I only have the final part of the mural to finish. How should I paint the revolt? Dad always talked about how the Archdeacon was the only one seeking justice in those days. But what was his name? The only name I can remember is the name of the Archdeacon who came to Tassing when the Baron was killed. Jacob Estler. Maybe he wrote an account of the revolt as the Archdeacon. I'll write to him and ask. Of course I need to write back to Esther too. I'll write to them tonight before bed. Where do I begin? I'll write to them both. Alright, I get it. Jacob Estler, formerly Archdeacon of Freising. My name is Magdalene Druckerin. I'm an artist in the town of Tassing in Upper Bavaria. I believe you passed through our community when you investigated Baron Rothvogel's murder at Kearsarge Abbey in 1518. Do you remember anything that about the case that the people in Tassing might not remember? In particular, do you remember anything about someone writing notes to provoke the killer? More have appeared in Tassing in subsequent years, seemingly harbingers of death. Thank you for any help you can give. Magdalene Druckerin. The person writing these notes has to be hella old by now. That or it's a multi-generational conspiracy, which wouldn't be surprising. You know how tremendously happy I am for you and Simon. And Elisha, too, of course. And your parents. It warms my heart to know that your family is doing so well. By the time this letter reaches you, I expect a winter will have unfolded Tassing. It's already freezing at night, so I've reorganized the workshop so that the inks don't deteriorate. Do you have to worry about that in Prague? You said it snows, but I always imagined it was warmer in winter. Dad's condition is so much worse and he's in so much pain. Dr. Stoltz has been... well, he's a useless asshole. Only God knows why he's such a bitter old man, but he's neglected Dad almost entirely. Some days he doesn't show up, and even if he does, he just snaps instructions at me and rushes off. I just wish I understood why. I worry about Dad. I've asked Agnes for help, but there's only so much we can do alone. He's not going to make it, and there's nothing I can do. Christ, I'm scared, Esther. The mural is progressing well, but I can't shake the feeling that someone is following me. I keep seeing this figure around town. After I explored the mines to see Tassing's early history and then again in the Abbey ruins. If it's the person who attacked my dad, why are they following me? It's the strangest thing, given me a fright a few times already. There's a note over there on the bed. I don't mean to worry you. Nothing's happened to me yet, so I'm blah blah blah. The only good news I can share at the moment is that the mural is almost finished. I should have it completed by Christmas or soon after, before the new year at least. Then perhaps at long last I shall be able to visit you and meet the Simon. Anyway, I fear that this will be my last letter of the year. The Reichspost has already been late, and it reported worsening snows through the passes. We seem to be stepping into a harsh winter. Stay warm and give my regards to your family and Simon. Yours always, Magda. How did this get here? Stop. Just like the note Dad found. Who's doing this? I have a feeling I'm going to find out sooner or later. I need to ask Dad about this. It can't be a coincidence, but he's been so weak I don't want to upset him. I just need to wait for the right time. I hope there is the right time. Sleep. It's snowing and you're just laying on top of your blankets? That's crazy. Mistress Strucker, and only one letter for you today. Pass is nigh impossible to traverse, and the heavy snow is hard on the horse and me. Anyway, happy Advent, my dear. Thank you. Same to you. Ah, a reply from Jacob Estler. Mistress Strucker, I do recall the Rothvogel case, though it has been over a decade since I have served as an archdeacon. I am no longer associated with the office of the Prince Bishop. In fact, I am no longer associated with the Catholic Church. If you do not mind conversing with a Lutheran, I will tell you what I remember. The notes that you mentioned do stir something in my memory. One of the men I questioned at Curacao was an artist from Nuremberg, Andreas Mahler. He mentioned finding notes written in a fine hand inciting individuals to violence against the Baron. While the scope of my investigation was too narrow to look into the matter, it did concern me. Finding more notes now, after so many years, must mean that their author is still alive. If this is the case, a serpent has lain coiled in the bosom of your community for decades. It may lay there still. What causes this serpent to awaken every few years to stage a new killing? I fear that finding the answer to that question may draw you into its reach. However, if you are determined to find the source of the trouble, I believe you must inquire with your neighbors. I urge caution in your investigation into this matter. If the serpent merely sleeps, it may be dangerous to poke into its old resting places. I hope that this has been of some help to you. May God bless and keep you safe. Jacob Estler. Spooky. No reply from Master this time. It must have been delayed due to the heavy snow. The postman said I won't receive any more letters until the spring. Better get back to the Rathaus then. Still more work to be done. Christmas Eve. Good morning, Dad. I finally caught up on the mural and I can start the final part today. I promise I'll get it done. Magdalene, I'm proud of you. Thanks, Dad. I'm sorry Dr. Soul said you can't come to the festivities tonight. I know how much you love the Perktenloff. Oh, there's always next year. Right. How are you feeling? Dr. Stoltz said he would come by it again today. Fine, I'm fine. Yo, he's gonna die tonight. Are you sure? Do you need anything? No, go on, I'm alright. In fact, my spirits are lifted today. It's Christmas Eve, after all. Of course. What's wrong? Dad, I found a note back in November. A note? What do you mean? It was like a note I found in your plans for the murals. Just a scrap of parchment. It looked like it came out of an old manuscript. Elaborate writing, purple ink. It just said stop. Do you know where they came from? Who wrote them? Magdalene, oh god, that must be Otts. He said he'd drop by with more firewood. If you know something, I'd like you to tell me, alright? I know, I will. Can we talk about it later? Fine, I'll be back later. Good. Take care of yourself out there. Yo, he's 100% gonna die before I learn anything. He might be dead already as I walk down the stairs. For that matter. Morning, Magdalena. Morning, Otts. Cold out, isn't it? Freezing. Makes me envy Nico, able to stay inside all day. Even Endris has his forge to keep him warm. Anyway, here, I brought some firewood for you and your dad. Thank you, Otts. You're welcome. So, how's your dad? Do you think he can join everyone for Christmas Mass? I think he'll stay in bed tonight. I'll do my best to be there. I need to keep working on the mural, though. I'm working on the final section. About the Peasants' Revolt, right? Feels so weird to talk weird to talk about. It just affected Tassing so much, but we were just kids. Can't remember what happened since I was just a baby. I never even knew my dad. That's what makes it difficult. I need to ask those who were already adults that night but don't want to touch raw nerves. What if you spoke to people while everyone was preparing for the Christmas festivities? Clara sometimes talks about that night. Mom too. You might be able to ask them. While Slev and Matilda are the only two Benedictines left living in Tassing. Maybe they'll talk to me. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Still, the mural is for Tassing, not the old abbey. Agnes has always been in Tassing, right? I'd go to her if I were you. Whew, Dad said she helped bury everyone who died that night. I wonder if she'd talk about it. It's your project, Magdalene. Might be worth a try. I wrote to the old archdeacon about it too. Thinks that the Baron's murder and Otto's death are connected to the revolt. The man who came to Tassing for Baron Rothvogel's murder. What about him? I wrote to him. He was the judge for the Baron's murder. What if all the deaths in Tassing are connected? I don't see how that old Baron has anything to do with revolt. Are you feeling alright? I think you're looking for connections that aren't there. Maybe this mural project is getting to you. Oh, fuck off. Whatever, I'm just trying to look out for you. I'll figure it out somehow. Yo, this guy's the murderer. Lots is right, I should start talking to people around town. Better get started if I want to talk to everyone before the Perkton off. To the midwife, to Agnes. She is up, uppity up, up. I don't remember everybody's names. Everybody's last names, that is. Magdalene Druckeren. Didn't expect to see you today. How is your father? He's not well, honestly. Oh no, I'm so sorry. They'll be in our prayers tonight. Ours as well. Ellen, is there something we can help you with here? You're old. You remember things. I have a small favor to ask. Oh, go on then, spit it out. If it isn't too much trouble, I'd like you all to recount what you remember of the revolt. I'm nearly done with my mural, but I need more details, and I was so young that I don't remember much of the night. Oh, for that project of yours in the Wrath House. I'm afraid I won't have much good to say about the matter, but alright. Come, sit down, Magdalene. Don't worry about helping with the wreaths. It took me years to get the technique up to Mom's specifications, so you're better off not helping. Huh. You always did fine, Brigitte. Magdalene, what do you need to know to finish the mural? I was hoping to ask you more about the revolt. All I can remember was the flames when the abbey burned. What part of the revolt? The abbot starving us out of house and home? Otto's murder? I doubt that would be a good painting. Seems like the abbot at Kearsall wasn't on good terms with Tassing. Everyone but that fucking Miller hated him, with good reason. He only cared for how many pfennigs he could get from us. Brigitte, don't forget to twist the ends in. I can't have it looking like a Christmas hedgehog. I'm getting there, Mom. I've looked after Martin and Kraft well enough, have I? I can manage this. Yes, well, after your father died, I've got no one left to nag besides you and that husband of yours. Thank God I have the both of you, as a matter of fact. Let an old woman have her vices. The Gertner house was a bit sad. Jorg always gets quiet this time of year. But it's Christmas. Yes, it's Christmas, but the Gertners have struggled for a long time, even after Peter died. Tassing's lost a good number of folk over the years, and feast days and celebrations make it harder to bear. You mean the revolt, right? The revolt, the murders, that fool Andreas had the medal and everything. Didn't do much good if you ask me. Dad said that Master Mahler made some mistakes, but that he was seeking justice for everyone in the town. And I think your father is right in that. And yet, he had already meddled enough in Tassing after the Baron's murder that he held more sway than he knew. He could understand it the first time. He wanted to save that old monk. I dare say he saw him as a father. And it was proven that the prior was a witch. So I suppose he did some good for Tassing then. I think Voislav may be the only person in Tassing who remembers the old prior. That's when the trouble started, I say. Townsfolk saw a monk killed, and the abbot was incensed. Then came the revolt, and Andreas Mahler happened to show up on nearly the day of Otto's murder. The revolt accomplish anything? Well, the entire matter was a horrible bloody mess, but it did restore peace in Tassing, by force. A shame it had to happen at all, I think. I knew the revolt was a bad idea from the start. Old Voislav will be the only one to know what happened inside the old church now before the fire. Okay, I'll talk to him, Jesus. They keep telling me about Voislav. Some like to say things were always this bad, that violence was the only way, but it wasn't. Life got worse over the years. It wasn't like this when I was a child, not my grandparents' time either. Sure, the abbot was pinching the townsfolk and the peasants were suffering, but to go against the church? But like you said, things weren't always so bad. We fought to make things right. It doesn't seem like things have gotten much better. They haven't. The Archduke's instituted a new lord over us, and he's been sure to inform us that he won't tolerate a second uprising. The soldier even warned... That soldier even warned Peter, but nothing would stop him besides steel. So, nothing got better at all? No, not as I see it. The Lord is just as severe as the abbot was and threatens force at every turn. That's life. You can struggle and die to accomplish something and nothing changes. Yeah, the dead are luckier. They die believing they changed something. We're stuck with the harsh reality. This is all you've known, Magdalene. We've grown used to it. We've all have. Thank you for sharing your story with me. It's important to share our suffering with the younger generations. Maybe they can change something. Good luck on the mural, Magdalene. Good luck. Okay. Gertner Farm, go to the Golden Hand Inn. Gotta go to the Gertners as well. Dr. Big Yord. Dr. Gret? Clara? Clara. Hello, Magnon. I would have thought you'd be working on the mural today. What brings you here? I'd like to sit with you and ask how do you remember the rebellion so that I can paint it, if that's alright. That was a sad time. It will help you memorialize those who we lost in the revolt. Yes, I'll answer a few questions. I don't mind. I was a lot older than you, so I probably remember more, Magdalene. Of course, Magdalene. We'll tell you all you want to know. I've been looking forward to seeing the mural for some months. Come now, sit with us. Ursula. Now that you're settled, what did you want to know? Did the revolt have anything to do with the other murder that happened in Tassing? Oh, the murder of the Baron, you mean? No, not really. I only remember that Andreas attempted to be a peacekeeper in both situations. I suppose that's when things started going poorly. Yes, after Prior Ference was discovered as a witch, people weren't willing to trust the abbey anymore. And then the abbot became more severe. He didn't like that Prior's death rattled his control of Tassing. I still think that the old Prior cursed the town. That's when the crops started failing. I don't know about any of that, but his taxes and restrictions and his attitude towards us became harsher after that. It was all we could do to live by them, but it eventually became too much. Even with all the restrictions, was the revolt really justified? I keep hearing conflicting stories about how it began. Agnes blamed Andreas for starting the revolt. Is that true? Andreas only ever sought peace from what I remember. He took it upon himself to try and keep justice in Tassing even though it wasn't his home. Truly, it's thanks to him we had peace for so long. We did everything we could to keep things from getting violent, but the Lord had other plans. Okay, I remember how sick and hungry I was all the time. Grandpa kept saying it hadn't always been like that. It was fine until Hannah, Nico's wife, killed Otto because she feared what would happen if the abbey shut down. Well, my husband wouldn't let that rest. We all wanted justice. When that soldier arrived and threatened us, and all the townsfolk pulled away except for you and Ulrich, Gret. No, Clara, I'm afraid even I was intimidated and begged Ulrich to leave the matter be. My husband alone stood with the peasants. Dad always talks about how he regrets that choice. That's why he wanted to paint the mural. Your father is unique in that regard. Most of the other townsfolk sees the revolt's failure as proof that it was doomed from the start. Truly, if the entire town banded together, we likely could have succeeded without violence at all. By then, we were so starved and wanted justice so much, Peter truly thought success was possible. There was still some discussion, and Ulrich and Andreas wanted peace. That fucking Miller protected that bitch. He always hated us. He thought he was better than us. Ursula, language. What, Mom? It's true. Lenhart even shot Ulrich out of nowhere. It was unprovoked. Yes, Lenhart always did hate the rest of the townsfolk, and he would take advantage of anyone he could. My husband sought peace to the last. He was a martyr to us. I think the Miller shot Ulrich to retaliate, but after that, Peter couldn't be stopped. We lost too much. And the burning of the abbey was a grim night. The soldiers coming in. Our men fought to protect us, to protect Tassing, and many died in that fight. But we got rid of the abbot and all the monks at least. Yes, and that is some comfort, if only a little. Are there any heroes of Tassing I should memorialize? Dad, definitely. Peter always wanted the best for Tassing, even if he acted rashly by setting fire to the abbey. I hope you can portray him in the best light, Magdalene. I'd rather not talk about that night anymore. I hope we provided enough insight for your work. You did. Thank you. I'll let you get back to work. Now, Voislav is gonna talk. I want to paint Master Andreas Mahler. Is that going to be an option? I feel like that would be a good option. To the meadows. Hans Voislav! Hello! Hello! God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Voislav. have an odd question for you. When I was exploring the Abbey through the mural background, I stumbled upon some stray cats. Were there a lot of cats during your time? Ah, yes, as a matter of fact, there were. There were always cats hanging around the Abbey, but one summer they started begging for food. Persistent little creatures. My brother Lucas swears he never fed them, but I have my doubts. Well, they seem to have made the Abbey their home now. Good for them. At least someone is making use of the old structure. Thank you for telling me, Magdalene. Be well, Vaslav. God bless you and your father, Magdalene. Ah, the sausage. I understand. Don't I have to talk to him again? Hans? Hello, Magdalene. Hello, Hans. Did you need something? Just wanted to see what you were doing. I was just about to leave. I have to go meet Big Jorg soon. Why? Stuff in the forest needs doing. Like what? To lift logs. Cool. Why would you do that? We lift logs to see who's stronger. It's a contest. Does anyone else participate in this contest? Not usually. There aren't many others in Tassing strong enough other than Big Jorg. Simon's big, like Sepp was, but he's not interested. He's always taking care of the farm. Maybe Apollo can join us one day. He's been getting stout the last few years. Alright, who's winning so far? Jorg? But barely. I've been gaining on him. He's growing older and softer with his council work. So this is just the thing the men do from time to time? Me and Jorg? Sure, I don't know about anybody else. You're welcome to join us, Magdalene. You happen to have small logs that would suit me? Plenty of trees in the forest. We'll find what you need. Maybe you'd put some meat on those bones. Sure. Maybe I'll drop by someday. Christ, Jorg will get a kick out of that. You really mean it, right? Oh, absolutely. Great. I should get back to work now. Until later, Magdalene. Until then. Yo, I'm gonna go lift some logs, baby. Sorry, Max, I can't talk for long right now. Hi, Killian. What's keeping you so busy? Yeah, setting up for the Christmas feast, it's always a lot of work, and Dad can't do it alone. He pretends to be strong, but I think some of it's an act. He's growing older and sadder. I imagine he misses your mom. Yeah, I miss her too. He doesn't talk about her much anymore. I think he's ashamed. I'm not, though. She was still my mom. You're right to not be ashamed. Thanks, that means a lot. Everyone does bad things sometimes, you know. When the monks were around, they told us all about God's forgiveness. Vojislav talks about it too. So that's what I try to do. Forgive. You got a kind heart, Killian. Yeah, maybe. I just do what I think is right, though. How's your mural coming along anyway? Well enough. Trying to learn more about the early days of the revolt. I suspect many don't want to talk about that time. Painful memories. I think you're right. Don't blame them. Dad hasn't spoken about it in years. Oh, I'm sorry, Magdalene. I really have to get back to work. Be well. Who the fudge do I have to talk to here? I bet these nerds. Jutta? Ah, hello, Magdalene. Hello, Magdalene. How's the weather? We've been prepping for the feast in here all day. Fresh and brisk. Perfect for a walk. Ugh, better you than me. I'll stay in here where I can keep my fingers warm. You better keep your fingers out of my dough, Master Bauer. I didn't do anything. You stuck your little fingers into my cookie dough 3 times today. Do it again and I'll wrap your knuckles with the back of my spoon. Don't anger Mistress Matilda, Simon. Yes, sir. Sorry, Mistress Matilda. We needed enough dough to make cookies for the entire town. You can't be eating it all. Anyway, what did you come in for, Magdalene? I was hoping you could tell me what you remember of the revolt. I was too young to remember much of it. No one ever seems to talk about it, and Mistress Matilda and Master Voslov, two were the only ones left who used to live in the abbey. The only ones who stayed, anyway. Matilda and I had been friendly enough with the people in the town. We put it behind us in time. You can imagine the other brothers had little reason to remain. Poor old Edoc's heart gave out that night. It was all too much for him, God rest his soul. I'm not sure what happened to all the others. All gone in any case. But the whole thing is a sensitive subject, Magdalene. Why are you asking? I talked to the other... I mean, I think this is the most salient one. I talked to some others in town, but all the stories seem to conflict. There was so much going on that night, no wonder no one remembers it differently. Wait, Magdalene, here. Come cut out cookies with me first, that way we won't fall behind while we chat. We'd be grateful for the help. Just cut out cookies from the dough and set them aside so Simon can put them on a tray. We'll need a good number and a variety of shapes, so don't hesitate to change which cutter you use. We have to have enough for the whole town, after all. Oh my god. Ugh. Son of a bitch. I've never worked harder on a minigame in my entire life. Can we get any more? I don't think we can. Oh, these look wonderful, thank you. You can make more if you want, but it looks like we have enough. I think that's good for now. Thanks for helping, Magdalene. Oh! Better keep going if we're gonna have everything ready for the procession tonight. So what can we tell you, Mags? I've heard the Lansnecks came into town before the revolt and warned everyone to leave the Abbey alone. Had things really been talked out, or was it too late by then? There were some people who wanted to talk. Master Mahler worked hard to keep the peace, but after Otto was killed... Oh, Andrew, it's a shame how he died. We at the monastery were fond of him. Clara said she and the other peasants felt the same way. Yes, Andres did a lot of good for Tassing and Kearsarge as well. Even if the abbot, old abbot, failed to admit that. He even revealed corruption in our own midst. The old prior Ference had been doing witchcraft in the church. I still grieve that he died in the abbey fire. I know your father does too, Magdalene. But wasn't the revolt justified? Yes, I think so. We couldn't even collect in the forest without a fee. Dad kept saying we couldn't live with higher and higher taxes. The night Otto died, the abbot was trying to excommunicate everyone for celebrating St. John's Eve. A lot of people thought the abbot killed him in revenge. Turns out it was Hannah, the innkeeper's wife. I still say she was pressured into it by the miller. Still, after Otto and Ulrich, that was too much. We burned the mill with both bastards inside. The abbot promised to help if Andreas found the person who killed Otto. All we wanted was to talk. But the abbot ordered the Lansnecks to stop you. The abbot had no idea the Lansnecks had arrived. It was too much for Peter. Lenhart was one thing, he just killed Ulrich, but to burn the abbey... When the Lansnecks saw the fire, they thought they had another revolt on their hands. Even Father Gernot couldn't stop him. We all fled. Brother Florian saved as many as he could, but... Peter was wrong to burn the abbey, but what the soldiers did, that was awful. I thought the knights were supposed to protect people like in Parzival. Rarely does real life match the heroism stories, Magdalene. Dad died protecting me, stabbed in the chest. I don't even remember what he was wearing, but I remember how dark the blood was when we found him. Almost black and sticky like treacle. Dad socked another one of the soldiers in the face, but another was right there, and... Magdalene, can we stop talking about this? I'm sorry. Thanks, Magdalene. It's hard to discuss sometimes, you know? Good luck. We'll see you at the procession later. Until then. So it sounds like the Lansnecks are the ones who are, really... Time to go to the commons for the Perktenlauf. Let's go! Christ, it's too damn cold. You shut your mouth, boy. We've done this fest every year. You want that standing here for 5 minutes. Well, good, you made it, Magda. I was getting worried you'd miss the procession. I wouldn't miss the Perktenlauf for the world. Costumes are just too wonderful to miss, aren't they? I remember when the mask scared me when I was little. Shh, it's starting. Oh, Artemis looks so lovely. I'd love to be the bright saint when you're leading off all the demons into the woods. Bleh. That's the only type of boys that'll follow you, Artemis. Apollo, stop that. Sorry, Mom. Christina, see the Perkton? It's so scary. I don't like it. Shh, Andreas. You're alright. They're only costumes. Big masks that our neighbors are wearing, remember? Ugh, so cold. Magdalena, you want to be the Bright Saint or one of the Perkton? Ah, Perkton, they're so spooky! I think the mask would get stuffy, but it would be fun to take any part. You'll get your chance, don't worry. Tosling's done the Perkton laugh as long as I can remember. Everyone in town's been a part of the procession before. Well, except for you young ones yet. I wish my dad could be here. He'll see next year surely, and you can go home and describe it all to him. As beautiful as ever. As goddamn long as ever. Well, at least we're going to eat after this. Everybody's just complaining. Oh, everybody's drunk. Oh, hey, Mags. Whatever, Mags. You made it. I was worried for a minute you'd skip out on the fun. Merry Christmas, Mags. Tipsy already? How are you responsible for someone on the town council? Christ, Mags, relax. It's Christmas. Besides, Big Yorg's already had 3. Alexander and Kaz look like they're going to play something too. I hope they play on Christ Born on Christmas Day. That's my favorite. Which one is that? Ah, we sing it every year. We sing all of them every year, Mags. I can't keep them straight. Ahem. Hey! Shut up! Everyone listen up. Yorg would like to speak. Thank you, Veronica. On behalf of the town council, I wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight. Speech. I'm getting to that. This year has been tough on all of us. We had more snowfall than anyone can remember, and the early frost gave us a small harvest. Folk haven't come through the pass as often. Nico, you've been short of customers and we've all missed the trade. Alexander and Kazimirs, you've been kept from your journey. Nazu, the snow has kept you from returning home. And I know we've all felt the lack of Klaus in this town as he's been bedridden these past few months. And yet the Lord has blessed us with each other, cheerful guests, and good company. Cheers! Amen! Thanks be to God. God bless. Even though the season has been rough, God knows that we still have a lot to celebrate this Yuletide. Endris, you've made the tools we couldn't have gone without. Just practicing my trade. Dr. Stoltz, you've kept us all in good humors. A proof of my experience, Jorg, in such cruel weather. I thought this... It's funny, can't go to Magdalene, you painted the mural for us. I only wish that my father were here to celebrate its close completion with you all. As do we all. Alexander and Kazimierz, you've spread good cheer in the early winter nights. Our pleasure, truly. And especially tonight, I think we should thank Baltus for making such a wonderful beer for us to enjoy. Huzzah! Hooray for Baltus! God bless you here. No, please. Naju helped tremendously. It's thanks to him, really. Ah, well, grazie. And thanks for our Lord, who has so graciously provided for this feast. Lord protect him. Yeah, thanks to the man's deep pockets. Kazimierz and I shall play later in the evening, so please come to us with songs if you have one in mind. Sing the shepherd's mistress. Let's have a dance. Well, that's it, everyone. If I may, Jorg, I'd like to bless this great feast our Lord has provided for us. Of course, Father. Today we have come together to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Just as our Lord has provided us with this meal, so too did Christ provide us with the bread of life. So please join with me in prayer. Bless us, O Lord, these gifts, with these thy gifts, which we are about to receive, through Christ our Lord. Amen. And a score of amens around. Now please, everyone, I know Maltus made a fine beer, but remember that temperance is a virtue. Celebrate the Christ child as though his manger were here with us. Squint quizzically. Let's eat! Let's eat, baby! Why did the father make off? Veronica, Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Enjoying the celebration? Who doesn't love an excuse to drink? Sometimes I think the church made so many feast days so we could all just drink a little more. No one needs the church to tell them when to drink. That's between a man and his mug. Ill Peter will never die. Anyway, like Jorg said earlier, it's nice to have a good night of company and cheer. A night of good company and cheer. You seemed hesitant, Jorg. Maybe you should... Ooh. Thank you for mentioning my father in your speech, Jorg. He'll be glad to know he was missed. You're welcome, Magdalene. Klaus is a good man, and we all miss him as part of the community. To be honest, I didn't expect to make a speech tonight. I just thought about what happened in town this year. Verna kept insisting that someone make a speech, so Paul said that I was the most charismatic of anyone on the council. He said that? Well, he said that I would make the least amount of people angry over it. Baltus said it was my charisma. That's one way to phrase it. To be honest, I never thought I'd be someone people in Tasting listened to. But you've always been part of the town council. We don't always have a council, though. It wasn't until the night of the revolt, really, that I felt I could do things on my own, be my own man. I loved my father, but what he did, I thought it had doomed the town. Jesus. A lot of terrible things can happen all at once. No one can shoulder the blame themselves. No, but my father chose violence. He chose to destroy the abbey. I always went along with him because he was my dad. He had to be right. The night was the first time I'd thought any different. I learned that night that you can fight for something right and still choose the wrong way to do it. And I swore I would never let that happen again. The revolt broke down everything I thought I knew about Tassing, about myself. But it made a lot of things better for Tassing, and that makes me hopeful. What do you mean? Well, our new lord is strict, but he made a deal with us. The council lets us govern ourselves. As much as I was grumbling earlier today, Jorg is right. Life changed in Tassing, even though the first few years were hard. We're better for it now. No Abbot looking down on us, making stupid laws as he sees fit. Our Lord lives days away. As long as we pay our taxes, we're left alone. It's a better life for Artemis and Apollo than we had. Don't you talk ill of my son, boy. He gave you everything he had, God rest his soul. I know, Grandpa. Choosing to live differently than your dad was brave. I think you and the rest of this council have done a great job. Thank you, Magdalene. I've done the best I can do right by the town, and Dad. You're his son. You've done him proud, boy. Thanks, Grandpa. Anyway, I'm going for another pint. Anyone else? Yes, I'll bring a pitcher. You've had enough, Grandpa. Your humors might become unbalanced. Another for me, Jorg. Magdalene? I'll get myself another later. Thanks. Merry Christmas, everyone. Father Thomas left the building, and I think that he's very suspicious. Do I have to talk to fucking everybody here? Oh my god, I do. What? Merry Christmas, Ferner. Let's merry about it. Friends and family coming together to feast. Family, friends, who needs that shit? By the grace of God, you do, Werner. Did I ask you, Balthazar? No, no, be merry, my friends. Drink and be merry. Finally, someone with some sense. You two have been fighting for years. Isn't right now the perfect time to resolve your disagreements? No. I fear that ship may have sailed a long while ago, Magdalene. I can't believe that. It's never too late. If God has willed it, there's little you can do, my dear. What he said. You know, all I see are two obstinate asses who truly deserve one another. She has caught you there, my friend Baltus. Ah, you wound your friend and mentor, Magdalene. And Nazu. Gnazu. Nazu. Don't take her side in this. I'm sorry, but if she's right, she is right. I refuse to let myself get roped into this foolishness. The fools here are still you two. You're becoming quite tiresome with this, Magdalene. Right, Baltus? Yes, quite so. See, that's the start. Continue just like that. You must always get your way, is that it? Ah, the fiendishness of youth. Please go enjoy the feast and release our aging souls from your torment. Perhaps a dance later, We'll see. Until later, gentlemen. Happy Christmas, Magdalene. Magdalene, dear. Merry Christmas, Magda. God bless. Merry Christmas, everyone. How are you enjoying the feast? Utterly delightful. A hearty meal among Baltus's latest brew. Baltus's latest brew. Everything a soul could wish for. It's everything your ample belly could wish for. I am as God made me in his infinite wisdom. See, you're all in a great mood. Impossible not to be, when I look at all the families gathered here tonight. The laughter of children running around, the love that brings the community together. We are blessed. Certainly better than all the arguing. As long as you have moments such as this to realize that we matter to each other. Well said, darling. To the four of us! Nastrovi! Salut. I'm so happy I married you, Andrus. The day I was inspired to come find you in Innsbruck was the most important day in my life. Ah, love at long last. We know the feeling, don't we, Voislav? The path before us was filled with thorns and thistles, but we endured. Make sure to prepare for that, Magdalene. There will always be some thorns on the path. I'll do what I can. You'll do fine. You're strong and stubborn, just like your mother. I never knew my mother. She was gifted, pragmatic, outspoken. Her spirit lives on in you. I hope so. Well, I'll let you continue with the celebrations. Stay safe, dear. Make most of this night. You've earned it. Enjoy the feast. God bless you. Well... Mistress Magdalene, Merry Christmas. Cookies especially. I haven't eaten such a wonderful gingerbread in ages. We were just setting up to perform. Did you have a particular song you wanted us to play? Between the two of us, we know all the Christmas songs between here and Spain. I always like good Christian men rejoice. A folk tune, one of Casimir's favorites. Once Kaz and I play what we prepared, we'll be sure to play that one. Merry Christmas, everyone. Sir, a special song with you is for your giving. Oh.
In dulce jubilo, nun singet und seid froh, unsers Herzens Wonne liegt in Praesepio, und leuchtet als die Sonne, Matris in Gremio, Alpha es et O, Alpha es et O. O Jesu parvule
Yay! Woo! Another! Wonderful! Let's go! Thank you! Thank you truly! We'll be here all night. I'll talk to everybody, I don't care. Hello, Magdalene. Happy Christmas to you. Good evening, Magdalene. Merry Christmas to you, too. Ulrich, Andrea, say hello to Mr. Struckerin. Hi. Oh, Andreas, don't be shy. You know Mistress Magdalene. Sorry, Magdalene. He's still a bit quiet. Hello, Ulrich. Hello, Andreas. How did you like Lord Jorg's speech, Magdalene? It's a good reminder of everything we still have. We needed to hear it. For Paul putting him up to it at the last minute, I thought it was well done. Well, Werner insisted someone on the council make a speech, and I didn't particularly want it to be me. But Jorg did it justice. You can always count on him to speak from the heart, especially a few drinks in. Truthfully, I think much of the town needed some encouragement tonight. Tassing hasn't had such a hard season since the revolt. Yes, I'm sorry. It's Christmas. We shouldn't speak of such sad times. Let's toast to better days, then. Here's to that. Although there's an old Latin proverb... Okay. Fire is the test of gold, misery is the proof of strong men. Yes, precisely. There's no question. The revolt left Tassing worse off, but seeing the town now gives me hope. You're an artist, Magdalene. I think you could see it, too. Oh! My back. My neck, my back. Things seem brighter for Tassing somehow. Yes, those miserable days gave us the resilience we needed to push ahead, to make things better. The next generation, like you or Yuta and the twins, you saw what it was like to fight for ourselves. To stand up to tyranny, even at the cost of losing our homes and lives. To be honest, most nights I'm grateful for the revolt. Really? Oh yes, you wouldn't remember, but life was really already terrible before that night. The revolt burned away the dead wood that had rotted Tassing for decades. God knows my father was an evil man. His death released me from years of fear. The revolt gave me the courage to face him, to become better than him. I think of something of the same happened when the Abbey was destroyed. Things had gone on as they always did. Well, I doubt we'd be having such a Yule feast tonight. The cost was high, but it resulted in just as much joy as grief. I hadn't thought about it that way. Because of the revolt, I could marry Paul, and we can supply grain to the peasants at a fair price. Our children will grow up without the fear that ruled over my life as I got older. No moment in life is entirely good or bad, Magdalene. What matters more is how we choose to see it. That's a wonderful way to look at it, Anna. Thank you. Oh, well, it's something I learned from one of Father Thomas's sermons. I took it to heart when my father died. Don't forget to take some time and have fun tonight, alright? Mommy, I want another cookie. Don't yell, sweetheart. Excuse us, Magdalene. It seems we have cookies to fetch. Of course. Merry Christmas to all of you. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. And now it's just Ava. Magdalene, you finally came over to say hello. Hello, Ganots. Hello, Magdalene. Happy Christmas, Ava. Till. Magdalena, how good to see you. How's that mural coming along in the Rathaus? Almost finished with it, I hear. That's right. Last I heard about it, you were still working on the middle section. The Story of the Saints, right? Yeah, I may have told Mother Francesca that I wanted to become a sister so I could see inside. Oh, Magdalena, you didn't. Wait, you really don't want to be a nun, though, do you? No, I'd rather keep working with my dad. Oh, right, the print shop. Have you thought about what you'll do after the mural is finished, Magdalena? Esther has invited me to visit her in Prague. I might go see her parents' print shop when the snow melts. You have university there, don't they? I suspect Summerfields make quite a living working so close to a library of that size. In our last letter, Esther said they can always rely on a steady stream of students looking for prints. God, I don't know how I'd do in such a crowded place. Too cramped for sure. Anyway, Magdalene, what are you painting on the mural now? I'm working on depicting the revolt, but I think I angered Agnes when I asked her about it. That's right, you were just a few years old then. God, has it been that long? Don't worry about Agnes. She acts cranky, but she's never truly upset with anyone. Took years for theft. Took years for Tassin to recover after that night. Thank God, we've come a long way since then. I've noticed a lot of typos in these last couple of videos. Otto would be proud of what the town has accomplished. I think so too. You know, Magdalene, I think he would be especially proud of you for memorializing Tassin in the mural. He would be thrilled to think that you've become a part of the family. I'm honored you think so. Of course, Otz has been charmed by you for a few years now, and I don't blame him. You're a beautiful young woman. Mom! How to speak with Klaus, of course, but you and Otz are a good match. Right, I'll mention it to Dad. Anyway, I don't mean to keep you from chatting away with us older folks. Have fun and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Ava, Till. Merry Christmas, Otz. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Mags. I don't want to talk to these people anymore. To be gourd. Finally. Finalmente. Hey, Magdalene. Sorry to bother you during the feast. Oh, hello, Jord. Did you need something? Well, all the chatter about the revolt earlier had me thinking you're nearly done with the mural, aren't you? Last time we talked with the council, you said you were working on that final portion, painting the revolt. I don't mean to nag during the feast, though. That's Veronica's job. I should have done it. Have it done soon. I've been listening to people around the town talk about the revolt so I can get a better idea of how to paint it. Everyone has a different idea of how it happened, but I think I finally settled on how I want to paint it. Yeah? Yeesh. Oh my god, both of these seem bad. This is like the only one that is like a positive thing. That's a good perspective. It shows what happened without being too detailed about, well, what happened. I'm sure everyone will love it. Klaus would be proud of the design you picked. Ava will like that especially. Anyway, I better get out of your way. You got some better things to do. I think Ox was looking for you too. He always is. I think I'll go home for the night. I've had enough of Otz's flirting, and I should check in on my dad. I'll tell him hello from all of us, alright? I will. Good night, Jord. Good night, Magdalene. Gotta go home. God bless you and Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Father Thomas is evil. Were we bothering you with the noise next door? No, not at all. Hearing people celebrating Christ's birth brings me great joy. Christmas tide should be a heartening time of year for us all. There's always something healing about Christmas. All of us are a part of the body of Christ. When we come together in fellowship, things are made whole. People need Christmas in the depth of winter to remind them that spring will return. And we'll all have a chance to live again. Magdalene, who is that? Hey! Hey, you! Someone who's been following me. Excuse me, Sister Amelie, I need to check on my father. Of course, God bless you. Thank you, sister. The door is open. Is someone here? Dad? That looked like her father. Oh, I guess not. Magdalene, is that you? What was the matter? Someone was standing near the house, the door was open. I was afraid something might have happened to you. I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything. I've been asleep most of the day, most of the evening too. I'm worried about you, Magdalene. You're worried about me? You're working too hard. I know taking care of me takes up so much of your time. I know how hard you've been working on the mural. I wanted to finish it before Christmas. I know. A damn near impossible task, given the size of that rathhouse. Well, maybe if you just did one wall. I'm not gonna make it, Magdalene. That's not true. We're getting worse since Advent, winding down like Baltus's clock. These days I'm lucky if I can stay awake for a few hours. It's alright. This is just life. I'm glad I'm going before you, even if it's sooner than either of us would like. I've already seen too much death in my time. I just wanted to show you what I can do. I wanted you to be proud of me. I have been, every day of your life. You've never needed to prove anything to me. I wish I could stay and see the mural when you finish it, but I don't need to. I know it will be more beautiful than anything these old hands have ever made. Don't say that. It's true, though. I mean, I got along alright. But I always knew you would surpass me before long. You can already see the things that I never could. See things and make them real. I don't know if that's true. It is. Whether I die tonight or tomorrow or the next day, I'm not going to be here much longer. One morning you're going to have to wake up and you'll have to do things for yourself. Love things for yourself. And you'll have to share it with the world. Love is the only reason to do anything in this life. Although all this talking is too much. Could you bring me something to eat? Of course, Dad. You haven't eaten all day. I missed the Christmas feast, too. I can't believe no one brought me a cookie. I'll go get some soup. Klaus. I'm sorry, Klaus. About everything. You're here. Does Andreas? I've been trying to keep Magdalene safe. We're trying to figure it out this whole time. After the fire, it's all I can think about. That and them. They've never left me. They're all still there in the dance of death. The Baron, Piero, Barents, Anna, Peter, Otto, Casper. Casper, my pocket boy! And now you. Casper died. Dad. Oh God, it's you. Who are you? What are you doing to my father? Magdalena, it's alright, it's alright. I'm sorry, I've forgotten my manners after all these years. And you've likely forgotten my face or what it once was. Magdalena, this is Andreas Mahler, back from the dead. The earliest memory I have of is you running into a burning library. I'm sorry. I don't understand. No one could have survived that. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. I don't understand, Andreas. Where have you been all these years? Hiding from the world, in the ruins mostly. Sometimes in the woods when it was warm. Stealing bread from Gret, stealing books from you. Oh, so I wasn't going crazy. It's the only thing that's kept my mind from forgetting what words are. Wait, how did you survive the fire? With some difficulty. I grabbed as many books as I could and I threw them into the scriptorium. When the smoke got too thick, I started to black out. The next thing I remember was Casper pulling me into the crypt. Your apprentice, the boy? You sent him back to Salzburg. He didn't leave. No! No! If I would have been mean to him, he would have left. And he wouldn't have died. Ugh. He waited in the woods and watched what was happening. When he saw me in the window of the library, he ran through the crypt to save me. And he did. But he saw that I was trying to save the books, and he went back in. I couldn't stop him, and I was barely conscious. He never came back out, Klaus. When I woke up, everyone was dead or gone. I couldn't face any of you. I couldn't go back to Sabine. That empty house. Sabine. So I hid. You painted over the Dance of the Death in the Abbey. It turns out that I had a reason to keep painting. I'm sorry if I scared you. No one's come into the Abbey for years. I thought I was safe there. I was afraid to talk to you, afraid to talk to anyone. Did you leave us those notes, the ones with the purple writing? No, those were written by a different occult hand, one that does not want you to finish your mural. One that has killed and may kill again to stop you from telling Tassing's history. Tassing's history? Why? Because Tassing's real history is at odds with the story we've all been told. It's been covered bit by bit, layer by layer, until it could no longer be seen, but it's still there. It's always been here, hidden beneath our feet. And it's still protected, haunted by the specter of death that has hung over this place for generations. The Thread Puller. Thread Puller, beneath our feet, what are you talking about? The same person who attacked your father is the same person who manipulated someone into killing Otto Zimmermann. And Lorenz Rothvogel. Yes, and they travel through the Roman aqueduct that connects Tassing and Curacao. It's a network of tunnels I've been quite familiar with. And I've seen the ghost that haunts them and can squeeze through the tiniest opening. I've seen it bend itself in half to reach places I could never follow. I've traveled along every inch of the aqueduct in the old city, but there's one place I've never found, the lair where the thread puller retreats to, the ancient Roman temple that is determined to hide from view. The Mithraeum, you found it? No, but I mapped out a darkness between the collapsed tunnels, and I believe I know how to get there. Come with me, and I'll show you. Now? If the thread puller becomes aware of what we're doing? Well, I don't know what they'll do. We need to act quickly. Will you be alright? Yes, I'll be fine. Protect my daughter, Andreas. With my life, Klaus, I promise. Alright, let's find the Mithraeum. The Rathaus? What are we doing here? When the men dug the foundation, they found Roman ruins that have been buried over time. Lucky never wasted stone, so he used the Roman wall as one of the cellars. There's a way inside to the hidden place. We go, alright. Yes. Alright, into the rat skeller. Alright, this wall is different. Does that mean this is the place? No, it's two-sided, new and old. This was above ground once, and it carried water. Look. Cornelius irit balneo et complet sextum gradum in Mithreo. Yes, you see? No, I most certainly do not see, Andreas. Well, here. A warning would be nice. Oh, sorry. I'm not used to being around people. This is the aqueduct. Here's water the bath, so you think this will take us to the Mithraeum. Exactly. Seem quite confident. Well, you know it exists. I know where it is not. I believe this is the only place it could be. It must be near the baths. You believe it? Yes. Alright. After you, please. Has Andreas lost his mind? Alright. It's been long enough. Before we learn anything else, I think I better pause this, and we'll return for another video. So thanks for watching, y'all.